Good morning, my crafty friends, and here we are today on Junk Journal July UK, hosted by Lindsay at the Vintage Button and Sandra at Be Happy Stationery. And today is day 22, and the prompt today is photographs. So I've just backed my page with some scrapbook paper that came out of this little pack, again, one I've picked up at the Gloucester Scrap Store, GRC, at Cityworks in Gloucester. I pick up loads of bits there. I mean, I think that probably cost me about £1, if not less. And I found somewhere I have got a stack of photographs, and do you think I can find them? No. I do need to have a big clear out. They are somewhere along with the postcards that I couldn't find yesterday. I think they're probably all in the same box somewhere. So I found this in a magazine, and I just thought that's really interesting because you've got like a stack of photos with this lovely little girl and her dog. So I've just backed it onto that thick book paper. I feel like I'm going to be using that lot to back things, and I'm just going to fussy cut it. When I cut it out of the magazine, I kiss cut it so that if I wanted to fussy cut it later, I could. Or if I wanted to leave it as was, I could also do that. So I'm just going to go in as close as I can, leaving perhaps a little bit of brown border around the outside, around the outside, stop singing. And I got these scissors. Where did I get them? Poundland, and they're really good. They're like perfect little size for cutting out. They're just really handy. They're like kids scissors, but they're quite sharp. Sometimes I find with the bulky scissors, they can be a bit too bulky. I'm just going to punch this bottom corner because I am going to pop it right in the corner. So I'm just going to punch it to match that corner. Move the scraps. So that's going to go in this bottom corner here. I might use my sticky pads to stick it, but let's build up the background. So I have got these coffee stain doilies. These were in a Happy Mail from someone on Junk Journal Fairies UK, and I just thought they're so nice to use as a background. And the paper that I've chosen has got lace on it as well, so let's make more of that lace. So I'm going to come in, I might actually cut that a little bit further. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down there. Let's use another bit of this in that corner up there. I realise watching back some of my videos, I'm sounding really nasally at the moment, and I think it's just hay fever. I don't feel unwell. I don't feel like I've got a cold, but I do suffer with my sinuses. God, listen to back to my videos. I sound like a right hypochondriac, but I do suffer with my sinuses. So I apologise if I'm a little nasally and squeaky. You can always turn me down a bit and just watch it with auto captions. There you go. So we've got that there. Yesterday I was remaking my paper bow page, and using washi tapes I made a whole load of paper bows, and just using up some of my washi tapes. I wasn't happy with the page and I just wanted to remake it. So I've just pretty much done what I did with the crepe paper, but I've made the bows out of washi tape, and all I did was double side the washi tape. And whilst going through my washi tapes, I found this. It's like a fabric tape. When I opened it up, it's actually lost its sticky. You can see that's where it should have been sticky, but that's okay. It was 50p at the scrap store. So I've got a bow that I made, and we're going to use that. So we're going to use that. I'm going to use a length of this. Let's cut a length. And I've got my lace. So let's find a nice vintage lace that's nice and wide. That one or that one? Which one do we want? That one probably, because it's, although that was wider. No, let's go with that one because it's open. And we're going to use some of that as well. Okay, and then I've got, I'm just going through my stickers. I've got some gold stickers, and I found this sticker of a wax melt. I do have a wax melt kit, and I could make one, but I just thought, you know what, let's use up the stickers. And the shape of those leaves is similar. I've also got these, which are flowers and grasses in that kind of sepia look. And while I was going through stuff yesterday, I found this book that I didn't even know I had. I mean, seriously, got to stop buying stuff. So that's quite nice as well. So we might have a look through that. So let's get sticking. I like the fact that I have everything ready to go. So we're going to use that in a minute. So we'll pop that to one side, just over here. And let's get the lace and the ribbons stuck down. So I'm just making more of the doilies on the corner. So if you're a frequent watcher, you'll know I love this glue. It's £1.99 and it's like a giant Pritt stick, but it's a little bit softer than Pritt stick. So if you're doing it on something that's a little bit finer, it doesn't tear as easily. So let's go. This one I was coming all the way up, wasn't I? So I'm just going to plonk that down. I might need a bit more glue up here. I am making this video on Monday, so I'm trying to get a day ahead after some lovely advice from Sandra about if I post ahead, then that will help get my followers and views up because people will watch for inspiration. So I think I'm at a point where, because I was relying on Lindsay's for inspiration, but I just thought, do you know what, I can do this on my own. I don't necessarily need to copy someone every time. Right, I'm going to use my double-sided tape. Yesterday's video was a disaster trying to glue ribbon down, and in the end I gave up and used double-sided tape because it's just easier. Obviously this is washi tape and I would have just peeled it off, but as we've said, it's lost its sticky. So I've got that one. I have got my lace. There's not much of this one left. This one I acquired from my friend Julie, my best friend. She had bought some lovely lace, so I was like, oh, I really like that one, and I just pinched a bit. I just cut a length off, so I haven't got loads of this one, but she has. So if needs be, I know where her scrap store is. And we'll now find out she's watching my videos, because she'll be like, get out of my scraps. Get out of my craft room. She's got a craft room, a little bit envious. And where is, I love Rick Rack. Where is my Rick Rack? Ooh, do I have a dark brown? Oh yeah, let's put some bigger, let's put a bigger bit of lace behind. These were, the laces were a Temu purchase, and you got like a pack of different colours of the wide laces. I've also got the thinner laces, and I think they were like £3, which, okay, yes, it's throwaway, but you got loads of it. And as I've said, I am considering my single usage a little more, so I'm just using up what I've got. You'll be really proud of me. I did have a look on Temu last night. I'm particularly looking for something in particular. Well, I'm looking for that stamp with the bulldog clip or similar. But I didn't buy anything. And again, I emptied my shopping basket. And I think once my last order arrives, which is a laptop bag, and some pinking shears and some craft knife blades. Once that arrives, I'm going to delete the app. because I can use eBay, which might be a little bit more expensive. I don't really use Amazon because I refuse to pay for Prime or postage. And I actually find lots of the things on Amazon I can find, bear with. Okay, apologies for the interruption. The front door went, but I'm back. So all I was doing was sticking the lace down with the double-sided tape. And I've just put another layer on top to stick that more natural kind of lace that I stole from Julie. So I'm just going to stick that one down as well. And then, so this again could have been used for layering. I do like to layer. I do layering quite a bit. And then this washi tape that's lost its sticky, I put some double-sided tape on the back of that. And then let's layer that up as well. So just lining it up. And there's lots of planes flying over today, lots of noisy planes. It was the Fairford Air Show at the weekend, so there are quite a few. We're under the flight path for the Fairford to, do you want that down there? Well, now let's have it up there because I can have a tag saying memories coming out of it. So there's that bit done. Just, no, let's get a bigger peg. Oh, try not to knock the camera, Claire. I think I've just knocked it. There you go. Still in shot? Yep. This is my little pot of things that need to be put away but never actually get put away. Yeah, I'm sure we've all got those. Right, so I'm just going to hold that there. Let's trim off the edges. Got loads of things to do today. So I thought, let's get the video done, out the way, schedule it for this evening, which you will already be watching it, so it will have been scheduled. And then I'm going to use some of my Monday motivation to crack on with some jobs that I've been putting off. I'm not at work this week till Wednesday, but I am going into school with my friend Lucy to help her set up her textiles room. Right, and then I'm going to use my sticky pads to stick that down. Where are they? Where did I put them? Are they in that one? That one. Sticky pads. What have I done with them? So move my water bottle out of the way. Move these stickers out of the way. Aha! Got them. They were buried. So I'm just going to use my sticky pads and just plonk them around the corners. Put a couple down the edge. I do like to stick a couple in the middle, just so it doesn't just bow in the middle. Sticking a couple around the edge. There's another aeroplane going over. For some reason that one's got a sticky bit there. Right, before I stick that down, I'm going to do a Lindsay, and I'm just going to use my copper marker and just go around the edge here. These are like permanent markers, they're a little bit like paint markers, and they cover really well. I think I bought them years. I mean, I've had these years. They are generally in my Christmas crafting stuff. But yeah, these are... I do have a whole load of Christmas crafting stuff. I probably will try and do a Christmas journal in December, maybe an advent journal, maybe. Oh, let's just make more of that coming in at the corner. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just maybe go around the edge of some of these in the middle, not completely, but just so you can see that they're layers. So I just go around some of the edges. Okay, let's take these sticky pad thingies off the backs. I find these little bits of white, these little squares of white paper everywhere. Like I'll get in the shower and they're stuck to the bottom of my feet, and the dog has them stuck to because I use them so often. I do just try and sweep them into the bin, but they often end up on the floor. My craft area floor is just full of little bits at the moment. Hoovering's on today's job list. So I'm going to come in slightly from the edge. There we go. And then let's go to, where did I put them? Where did I put it? Ah, there it is. So I am going to use this, just kind of maybe coming out the corner. Yeah, let's use a piece of string behind it. I've not done this for a while. So I'm actually going to pull this string apart and just create like a underlay. Just, you can see I'm pulling the fibres apart a bit. Not completely, but there we go. Just making it a little bit fibrous. Somebody left a lovely comment on Sandra's Be Happy Ko-fi about paper flowers. I will do a mini make of how to make those paper flowers. As I said, I do have a die cut, the paper flowers I used on my map page. So yeah, I haven't replied to the comment, but I will do at some point this week. Hopefully. I've got quite a busy week on again. Seriously, I'm busier now than I ever was. I think because I do more. Like I volunteer and I have hobbies now rather than just teaching being my life. And then I am just going to cut off that clear edge just because it reflects the light and it just makes it look more like a sticker. As I said, I do have a wax melt kit and I could have got it out for today and made my own wax melts. I've got varying colours, but I quite like just using up the sticker. I'm just going to press that down for a minute, make sure it's all stuck. And then to carry on that pattern, I'm just going to use a couple of these stickers on the edge of this. That one's quite a nice one. So just on the edge of the photo, like this, just to corner it. And then let's have a quick flick through here. What have we got? Oh, I quite like that one, Memories. That's quite nice. It looks like a little bit of washi tape with the word Memories. Let's just have that. Yeah, just going to have that coming out there. And then I am going to grab my paper flowers because I've talked about them today, but I'm not going to use the ones I made. So these are the ones that I get when I'm in the range. And they're just cute little flowers and I quite like them. So I'm going to pick quite a natural looking one. What one do we want? Quite a darker one. Let's go with lighter. And I'm just going to glue that on that corner, right on the corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner. And then I'm just going to grab my buttons. I like to use the buttons as the centre for my paper flowers, for these ones particularly, because it just it's just a really cute way of making a middle, and it's a great way of using up your buttons. So here's my bag of round buttons. So let's find a nice little one. That's that one there, that's a nice one. I'll just stick that on there. I'm using my Yoo-hoo. Yoo-hoo. Okay, so we'll just pop that down there. And I think apart from the pocket edge, so for the edge today, I've got this paint sample, Neutrals. I think it's just from B&Q. And I'm just going to fold it over. And then yesterday I said that I've got like a folio cutter. What have I done with that? It's not in that drawer. Sometimes having too much storage is a curse. So this is my drawer of punches. So I've got this little folio cutter. So I'm just going to cut one edge. You can see it just makes an edge. And then using my black pen, what are we on, 22? So we'll just write 22. Photo. Photos. And then I'm going to cut it there, because to do the other side you actually need to turn it over. So I just need to have a rough idea of where I'm going. So I'm just going to go over there and do the other side. Gives quite a nice little tag. I'm just going to snip it across the bottom. And go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside with my bronze. Just coming across the top. Yeah, I was also looking on Timo at, you know, you can get the tab maker craft punches, and I was like, I can cut them out. I've got some die cut tab makers, and some people have sent me, like Kim sent me some in my Happy Mail, and I was like, I can just use one as a template, and I've got this, so I really don't need to be buying any more stamps, as in hole punchy stamps, punches, that's the word. And I'm just going to stick this on this page here. Okay, so maybe coming around the edge a little more. Okay, and last thing I'm going to show you is, so I talked about yesterday pulling my journal apart, and I did. And for the back of yesterday's page, I have just stuck some plain paper on, and all I want to do, because my lined paper is not quite big enough to cover the page, all I want to do is stick down some paper that kind of corresponds with the page before. So I have these rulers that I was given that just give you a little bit more of that torn edge. So let's come across, hold it down, just tear it up, move stuff out the way, and all I'm going to do, some of my marker pen on my glue, but that's okay because I'm going on the back of stuff, is just put a big layer of glue and stick it down. I have found, so this is the springy bit I took out of this one, and I did find I've got a larger one that I'm going to use to rebind it all when I've finished the challenge, and we've only got 9 days to go. So I'm just going to trim that off. Okay, so that just kind of gives the flip side a kind of unity together. So there is today's page. Let's give you a close-up. So we've got the sticker up in the corner, we've got the lace, we've got the photograph, and I just went with the whole vintagey feel. Thanks for watching.